Welcome back on Newsmaker. Most of us jump in the car and hit the gas and drive, often without a second thought about the roads we drive on. ADOT manages some 152,000 miles of freeways, expressways, roadways, highways across the state. And we only notice when there are closures or expansions that require navigation. For almost 30 years now, Doug Nintzel has been the spokesman, the face of ADOT, and Doug joins me now with a look at what's ahead for ADOT in 2026.
You bet, John. I would just say when it comes to highway miles here in the state, a round number is 7,000 when you count both directions of travel. So it's important that folks know, yes, we're a big state. We have a lot of miles of highways to work on, and of course, we've got the Valley freeways to work on.
Yeah. Doug, is that correct? Is that 150,000? Is that?
I was hearing you say it. I think we might be talking about lane miles, actually starting to add all that up. So it is a large number, but I did want folks to know it's about 7,000 miles of state highway miles here.
Okay, that's not breaking it down lane by lane.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. What are the biggest priorities in 2026?
It's going to be a continuation of what we've accomplished because we're coming off a year, 2025, where we were able to accomplish so much. The end of the Broadway curve project along I-10, what a huge thing. Great feedback from the drivers in terms of what that has accomplished. It's moving the traffic. The extra lanes are making a big difference, along with the interchange with State Route 143, because you're talking about access with Sky Harbor Airport. And people continue to talk to us, John, about I-17 and what a difference those flex lanes are making.
That was a genius move.
In the area, basically Black Canyon City up to Sunset Point, but also widening north of Anthem
And
Way.
that'll continue on, right, up north?
It will continue on. So give us a few more years and we'll get going with additional widening, for example, up to Cordis Junction.
Okay, so division of responsibility, Maricopa Association of Governments, they kind of do the master plan, right? And they decide where the projects need to go.
Well, I'm glad you asked because, yes, the Maricopa Association of Governments, MAG, is the metropolitan planning organization for the greater Phoenix area. And one of those responsibilities is transportation planning. ADOT works very closely with MAG. We're partners. We're at the table with MAG, but MAG sets out what's really known as the regional transportation plan for the greater Phoenix area, including where freeway projects are going to be planned, where they ultimately are going to be built. They set the schedule. ADOT does the building. You
do the implementation.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's take the Loop 303 improvement project. This is I-17 in North Phoenix. I'm not driving over there a lot, but this is a big deal.
It really is. To be able to tell the drivers in that area that they're going to get a new interchange that is direct freeway to freeway ramps connecting the two freeways. That's what drivers have been waiting for. You won't be coming to a stoplight at the end of an exit ramp. You'll have direct access. So again, it's about a 2.5-year project getting underway here in the next month or so. And so we're going to be doing that work. Yes, it will mean some restrictions. There will be closures.
I bust you guys a lot. You know that.
A lot of the work will take place, John, in terms of restrictions. During the nighttime hours. Yes, there will be weekend restrictions as well. So we want folks to get ready.
But you got to do it on the weekend, right? Because you can't, when the commute's going on, you can't do this work.
That's exactly right. I'm glad you brought it up. But we focus as much as we can on the overnight hours, but also weekend closures are needed in order to advance projects and keep them on schedule. So this project will also mean Loop 303 will be 3 lanes in each direction out to 51st Avenue. There will be a follow-on project starting later in the year, which will be 51st Avenue out to Lake Pleasant Parkway. But I do want folks to know a lot of big doings along Loop 303 in the North Valley.
And that's part of now we're talking the extension to Goodyear?
Yeah, and that is a separate project. That's in the Southwest Valley in the Goodyear area, Loop 303 is going to be extended from where it currently ends just south of I-10 at Van Buren Street. It is going to be extended another 4 miles down to Maricopa County 85. So that's it's going to be about a 3 to 4 year project to get everything in, because it's about building new bridges, new interchanges. But that, again, a growing area in the Goodyear area, so we're looking forward to getting that project underway about mid-year.
The bridges are speed bumps, right, in a freeway project. That's the tough stuff.
I would say they are the key component, and it does take time to do that construction in terms of girder installation, the piers that have to go in. Yeah, that's a big part of any project.
Okay. Just macro for me. Are we following the growth? Are we anticipating the growth in how we do roadways?
It's always a challenge to say, how do you get ahead of any curve when it comes to population growth? I think we've done a good job at ADOT in terms of building a reliable transportation system, a freeway system that folks can depend on. There will always be rush hour challenges. That will never end because we're a growing area. However, Loop 303 in the North Valley is a good example of being ahead of the curve when it comes to development coming in, being able to have a freeway in place, and now Loop 303 in the Goodyear area, extending that as we look ahead to things that still need to be done. We've had a history of doing these projects now where additional lanes have been added to freeways.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
It's the entire Loop 101 in the East Valley now has had the additional lanes added, so it's made a big difference.
Explain that, because it's been told to me by people in this world that you want to build the freeway first, and then you'll add lanes later as you need them, but you've got to get the footprint down. Is that true? Because people will say, why didn't they make this 6 lanes when they built it? But it's money.
The answer is available funding.
Yeah.
You plug in the funding, you get a base freeway in, much like buying a house and saying, we're going to add an additional Arizona room in the future. That's where you start to use that money to do things, including federal funding that has allowed us to do the addition of, say, the HOV lanes along our valley freeways. It does happen in stages, and a lot of that is due to available funding when the funding is available.
So you got to get the freeway down, and then you'll add as you go, and it's not cost effective to build lanes you don't need.
We would love to build the wider freeway. Originally it's just the reality check. And I think it's important to know, we'll continue to work with policymakers on, hey, where are the priorities going to be, whether it is MAG, whether it is at the state legislature. Obviously, at this time, we're working very closely with Governor Hobbs' office to see what are going to be some of the next stages.
Okay, what's happening with the loop? What's happening with the 101 in Scottsdale?
The 101 in Scottsdale.
How close are we to completion on that?
Actually, most drivers will think we're done with the project, but we're wrapping it up right now. But in November, we open the new lanes in each direction between Shea Boulevard and Princess Drive, and that means all of Loop 101 now has the wider freeway from I-17 all the way around through Scottsdale down into the Chandler areas.
Big picture moving in the future. Where do we anticipate the big growth to be? Is it the Southeast Valley, west, the Buckeye Way? Is that kind of what we're looking at?
The easy answer is to say it'll be all over. Each area of the valley is going to be able to stake a claim to saying where you want to be coming. But what I would talk about is, yes, Southwest Valley. That's why a future freeway is State Route 30. That's going to be, it's sometimes referred to as the I-10 reliever, because it's parallel to I-10, about 5 miles south of I-10. It'll be the reliever to take traffic east and west through the Southwest Valley. We're working very hard, say, on the Santan Freeway right now, so that points to the fact that we're working in the Southeast Valley as well. And State Route 24, again, near the Gateway Freeway, that's going to be transitioned into a full urban freeway. That project is slated to start at the end of this year. So,
in terms of moving people around, do you guys anticipate that AI may play a huge role in how we move traffic around?
Probably, no doubt about it, whether it comes to self-driving vehicles, things like that. But I think right now it's going to be how can an agency like ADOT take advantage of that, whether it's the construction of freeways, but also within work zones. What types of things can AI help us with when it comes to moving traffic?
How did the extension of the half-cent tax help you guys?
It's important to note the voters said yes to Proposition 479 in November 24. And so that means that MAG is able to rely upon, again, that revenue coming in with the half-cent sales tax extended for that next 2 decades. And so that means they're able to start doing projects, including this Loop 303 I-17 project, because that is the first project to be funded as a result of the voters saying yes to Proposition 3.
And who makes a decision on what's prioritized? What comes first? What comes second? Is that MAG?
It is. It's within the Maricopa Association of Governments as a planning agency. They are working very closely because they are an umbrella agency for the Valley cities.
Do you think that the debate between people who want to be in their cars, they want to be driving, it's kind of an Arizona thing, and public transit, mass transit, are those two at odds in terms of money?
I'm not the transit spokesman. However, I don't think they're at odds. I think it's a matter of deciding what do we have to do in terms of the growth that's taking place. How do you grow a system when it comes to transit and also make it reliable where more people are going to use it because it's passenger friendly, it gets them to where they need to go. So again, that's probably a conversation for another show, down the line.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, but it is at ADOT, we are basically the Valley Freeway spokesman, the Valley Freeways agency. We're doing that. The cities work on their local streets, and then we have transit agencies.
Okay. Any word you want to get out, Doug, while we've got you here, whether it's 511 or whatever it might be, or people slowing down construction zones?
Well, all of those are really good points. I would just invite folks to visit the ADOT website as often as possible.
It is really good, by the way.
Well, I appreciate that, but we work very hard on having individual project information on the website. So if you're interested in a certain area, anything that we started to talk about here on the show, AZDOT.gov. That's where to go and visit, and that would be the first thing. 511 as a system to find out more about traffic, and of course we do our share of social media.
If you don't know Doug from his prior work at KTAR as a radio guy, outstanding, absolutely outstanding, and a great 30-year career at ADOT, Doug.
Well, I appreciate that, John.
You've been a champ. Well, even though I chide you guys from time to time.
No doubt about it.
And then Doug gets to me and he'll say, hey, what's going on? Why are you so hard on ADOT?
Well, just don't say here's to another 30 years.
No, I would not do that. Doug Nintzel from ADOT, spokesman for 30 years. That's still the official title, right?
Spokesman.
There you go.
Yep.
Short and sweet.
Yes, exactly.
Doug, good to see you. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you, John.
We're back in a minute on Newsmaker.